It is pointless to resist.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Sarlacc Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics for 1,000 years or 250 episodes later. We're getting very close to that 1,000 year mark that we promised to do, right? I mean, we promised.
Feel it every day.
This episode, we're getting close. At least they're getting closer. Yeah. We are recording on March 13, 2024. I'm your host, Darth Moocher. Got Scott Solo here.
What's up, nerds?
Bootleg Joe with probably the shirt of the day.
Hola.
And Grand Admiral Franz.
Hey.
Ernie should be joining us momentarily, celebrating his 500 subscribers over there. So.
Right out of my mouth.
Yes, right.
I have a little post-it, 500 subscriber celebration.
That's funny. Oh, man. Well, yeah, so he's wrapping it up over there in the Fallen Fett Chronicles, so I'm hoping that he comes over here to kick off our 250 episode. We've got a lot to talk about. There's some things happening, right? But before we get into all that stuff, Scott Solo here is going to take it away and shout out our Shadow Council, plus everybody who is being digested in the pit. So take it away, Scott.
Hey, thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate you. If you noticed, we have a brand new intro. We've got a brand new layout here, animated backgrounds and all that. And that is thanks to you, our Shadow Council. So thank you very much to AJ from the Forbidden Panel, Brandon and Anya Epler, Brian C., Cliff, Commander Cook, Crystal E., Dennis McGrath, Don the Dad Dorn, Eric Grubb, Flavy Davy, formerly of the Nerds with Attitude, Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast, Justin the Vanilla Thunder, Luke, a.k.a. Junk Droid 77, Mervine Bolanos, Matt Logic, Nicholas Schaefer, Papa Schmitty, Ryan, and the Star Joe's podcast. So if you want to join the Shadow Council, get in on all this good fun, just scan that QR code right there or visit patreon.com/Sarlacc Digest podcast. Or you could even, if you just want to, you could also give us a super chat. We appreciate that. Get you an instant shout out. Not that we're not going to shout you out anyway, because you're in the pit right now being digested, like Gordon Skalski, Rhino Hobbies, Bootleg Joe, who's also right there. We've also got
What's up?
We've also got Tim Hayes in there. What's up, Tim?
Welcome back.
Okay. I just kind of ran right into this.
It's okay.
So we've also got Don the Dad Dorn in there. We've got Junobi in there. What's up, Julie? How's it going?
I haven't seen you in a while, Julia. I hope everything's okay.
Who else have we got? Let's see. We've got Brian C. is in there. We've got Matt Logic 44. Also, there's a Facebook user. Crap, I got to go into.
Yeah,
Facebook.
I know.
Yeah.
Darn Facebook user.
I know.
As far as like no name, the faceless,
It's one of two people.
And Santo 1414. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Also, Rick Jones. Did you get Rick Jones and Matt Logic?
Was Rick Jones in there?
Yeah,
I got Matt Logic. There's Rick
Matt
Jones.
Logic
Hey, what's
in
up,
there?
Rick Jones?
Santo 14.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out who is in the
Facebook group.
Facebook.
I saved this one first. Gordon, happy 250 lads. I think I've seen at least 200 episodes. Absolutely, Gordon. Yeah, you've been there, man. We've met you in person. We've met you through toys, right? We met you through the show and everything.
The line at the theater.
The line at the theater, right?
Mhm.
And it's so fun to have that community building around just talking Star Wars, right? And so, Gordon, I just wanted
Didn't
to.
he win one of the first prizes we did when we did the trivia at the theater when we had our big day?
Oh, I think so.
Won a lot.
Yeah.
He's won a lot of our
Yeah.
prizes whenever it comes to our trivia days. So yeah.
Isn't that first one we ever did when we did the entire day, the long line with the pop-ups and the prizes and the toys?
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
everything?
That was that Last Jedi? I think that was Last Jedi.
Yeah, it might have
the
been.
last time we did it.
It's like, this is going to be the greatest. Oh, damn. Yeah.
Facebook user Scott Winters. There you are, my man.
There it is.
Yeah,
All right.
he's happy to be the faceless one. Oh yeah. Let's see here. Brian C. It's some extra flavorful pit juice on the 250th. We've been sleeping for a while. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, guys. So I wanted to hit that Gordon comment because also, we just launched our toy chest show this Monday that deals with all the toys and everything. And that kind of remind me of we met people doing the show, really cool people. So if you've missed that, of course,
And Mando Mike.
Yeah, Mando Mike and
cool people.
Bounty B&B. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And you had to say his name, right? Now you had to say Mando Mike's name.
Don't say it again.
No,
Yeah.
he said it 3 times. He should pop up any second.
But if you have missed it, of course, our toy chest dropped on Monday. It's there for your consumption, and we will be back every other week with that. So I just kind of wanted to put that back out there because, as promised, we did drop that show. It was fun, and I can't wait to do it again. There are, I think, who said it in the chat about more toys being added? Yeah, they already added more toys today, so our lists are going to be growing on that aspect of it. So,
Oh yeah.
all right, guys. So we're doing 250 of these things so far, and it's kind of cool. Like on Wednesdays, a lot of stuff happens on Wednesdays. It seems like, right? Not only do we have Bad Batch going on, and we're going to talk about Bad Batch because actually, for a 2-episode arc, there was some things hidden in there that we got to talk this out, right? It wasn't like this sleeper episodes that I thought it was going to be,
Right.
But we'll get into it in a minute. But one thing that was glaringly missing, it was Azaz Ventress, right? We still don't have Azaz Ventress in the Bad Batch, but there is some news that potentially we could get actually more Asajj in the future here via books, cartoons, animation. I don't know, because I thought the voice actress just said there's a lot more Asajj to come. Like her tweet was that, right? And then Lucasfilm announced that they are hiring animators, like more animators. I'm like, okay, the only thing that we know so far would be Tales of the Jedi coming out, right? That or maybe that's already done. So why would they be hiring more animators, right? Like, so I'm expecting more of this because Bad Batch is done after this. It's all done, and of course we got Tales. So with Asajj, we were talking about this in our chat, like what could be in store for Asajj after this Bad Batch thing.
Okay,
Could it
so
be
I had assumed, because they would talk in Kenobi too, right? That Asajj would have to play a part in that.
Right.
She would only be in her. She was 50. She was born 50 years before Battle of Yavin, right? So she'd be like 62 in the Mandoverse ish.
Okay.
Right around there, right? 63, 60, maybe 65 max. It's doable there. She could be a older, wiser, almost, like Darth Maul was to Ezra, but not as creepy. She don't have to be that, but she could be that mentor type, in a good way.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff you could do with Asajj, dude, and I'm really glad they're going back and retroing Dark Disciple, at least that piece, because as great of a story as it is, and as great of an ending as it was, Asajj is a character you don't need to see ended in a book.
Yeah,
that's the key, right? Like my thought was like, okay, if the voice actress is saying there's more Asajj to come, and then they're hiring animators, so it's like, okay, let's put the 2 and 2 together and say, are we getting a Tales of the Jedi Asajj, or are we getting an additional, never before announced, never before seen animated series after the Bad Batch is aired?
Star Wars: The Dark Times, and it's just nothing but the 20 years between, or what, 18 years between the end of the Bad Batch and A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Just focusing on the path, maybe fighting, trying to fight the Empire in the background.
The best line ever. The best line ever.
You're lame. Stop. Okay. Now I know we're not supposed to be in Bad Batch yet, right? But if you didn't get path vibes already, right?
Absolutely.
If we're not seeing the clones starting the path with Asajj or Quinlan or something to make amends for destroying the Jedi, right? And they try to save these Force sensitives and bring them back. That's what's happening, dude. There's zero chance that that's not happening.
That is a great redemption. I mean, Star Wars, if it's about nothing else, it's redemption, right? It's redemption for
very creative ways. Yes.
And the clones, I mean, who else would need to be redeemed more at this point than the clones who took out all the Jedi? So that's poetic. Very George Lucas,
so
the seeds of it.
That's got to happen. As soon as I was watching the episode, I'm like, oh man, we're pathing right here. This is it. We were talking about this is where it should start, is in this show, and I really think it's coming quicker than later.
Yeah, so, we're halfway done for the Bad Batch, right?
My God.
We're halfway.
Wow.
Brian O'Hobby's brought this up, and I think maybe we should just jump right in, because it's
screw it. Let's go.
You're gonna have to explain the path to me just a little bit further on how you got those vibes, but I'll go. As far as like, really? Is it the Rex and the commandos, realization? Okay,
no, I get that. Their whole setup, their whole base, everything, the underground stuff, and the way to jump place to place, and they have this base, but they have to move it real quick. Because it's obviously like an underground railroad, but we're talking about the galaxy.
Right.
And so it's 100%. Underground for a minute into space.
I like
to
it.
Another place where you go underground, and it's just I feel like they're the way. They're the ones, And
so Rhino Hobby
with Gregor, right? They just went and picked up Gregor to add to the group. It's like kind of like that same thing. Now they're going to start doing that with.
And we see Wolf, in his internal battle of what's going on. So.
Rhino Hobby saying maybe Asajj will tell them what an M count is. Yeah, we're going to get to that, because I know by the end of this, Omega's moving rocks. Okay, I said it. I don't care. But anyway,
it's Ray's mom.
M count.
I still disagree, but that's okay.
M count. How much clearer can it get? It's like,
her blood can accept midichlorians. Her blood doesn't have midichlorians. It can accept midichlorians.
If midichlorians are there for you to
the cloning process was the key was, it wasn't that they can accept it really, it was that you can clone it with the same exact count. right? You're able to
right.
replicate, and that's what they're trying all these different clones and things to replicate, so you don't lose M count. It has to be the same
When
or
you
more.
inject the midichlorians into the blood of the
See,
person,
I've never
of the
ever you
individual.
said that last time, and I went and watched it. I've never caught that they were injecting midichlorians.
No, that's exactly
did-
what it was. They were adding blood to the blood in the tube. So they were adding Palpatine's blood into the blood that was in the tube and determining whether or not that blood receiving the other blood could accept the midichlorians and not lose power.
Now it all If the, all right, it just hit me right now. That makes sense why they would be testing them over and over and over. Because remember, we were saying, like, why isn't it just a one and done? If this clone doesn't show any signs, why are they testing him the next day, like Omega, next day and next day? If that takes time for the midichlorians to get that blood count, because she said they talk about the M count, and if they're multiplying in them, they would want to monitor that kind of thing. So that would make perfect sense to me why they would be doing it over and over and over. Otherwise, what's the point? One and done, that's it. We're done. I mean, nothing's working. So if they're injecting Palpatine's blood into him, and now we're seeing the
See,
blood
but here's the thing:
them.
we're assuming that's never been
Of course
said
we
out
are.
loud.
Yeah,
of course we are. Yeah, this is all assumption. Yeah,
right. That's not been said out loud. All I know is that was said out loud was the piece about the cloning to the same or better M count.
But what they showed, show don't tell, right? What they showed was a vial of blood with blood dripping into it and then instantaneous results.
Doesn't mean it's Palpatine's, because I asked you if that was, because I did ask you if that was a synthetic type of M or whatever they were trying to pull to make it see that, right? Wouldn't it be amazing
if it was just a Jedi that they've got held hostage somewhere on Tantus? I mean, we could actually have Jorah Syaboth. You could have Jorah Syaboth there having his blood drained and tested.
Well, all right,
whoa, Kenobi. When we walked on him, he had all those frozen ash Jedi from Youngling stage, from Clone Wars, from Revenge of the Sith. So I mean, they've been frozen a while. That's it right there.
Here's a monkey wrench in that theory also.
Damn it.
Because if Omega is, you take the blood and you add it to it, and then that vial is what it reacted to, then why does she have M count? Like, why does she have M count?
She doesn't.
They said her M count. They said it this episode. They talked about her M count being high or whatever it is, and that's why he questioned what is M count. So if like they've just taken regular blood, if it would be said
it wasn't that she had it. She said they were testing everybody there for their M count. What is that? And nobody really knew. They'd heard it
for their M count, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
They did say that about their M count. You're right. They did.
I'm telling you,
it still could be the same thing, Scott. It still could be that same road. Right. Yeah. It still could. But what I'm saying is, like, again, because how these theories go. And
she's force sensitive, dude. I don't give a
shit. I'm saying she's moving Ross by episode 14, 15.
Matt Logic, she didn't. Her blood accepted the transfer. That's what I'm saying too. So I'm with you, Matt. I'm with you.
But
we get that her blood was good too. We get that her blood did whatever it needed to do. It's just
So Ernie's joining us. Ernie, what's an M count?
We know what an M
midichlorian
is.
Okay, so if someone says, I'm going to test your M count, that means you have midichlorians inside you already, correct? Yes, they did. Go back and watch it.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what they said. Omega has, I'm telling you, that's exactly what it is. And
what did they test her for? That's what they said.
Right.
And he said they're doing tests for M count.
Yeah. And
that's what was said.
That's right.
And then they said M count, and Rex says, I've heard that before.
Yeah, mind you, she doesn't know all the details either, right? So she wouldn't know. They're testing to see blah, 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 blah. She just says they're doing an M count test.
Yeah.
And we don't know if they're looking for high, for low, for stick.
It'd be different if they were injecting the clones in it, but they were taking the blood for the vials and then
they didn't inject her at all. Right.
They're getting blood
on
samples.
Episode 1, man, when they said, she said not the clones. I'm still stuck on that.
Because if they injected her, then I get that whole thing that then they're combining the bloods and then she's living, breathing like she has them inside her. Yeah. I'm saying she already has them inside her.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how I take it. You guys don't take it like that?
I 100% disagree. But you know,
wow, I'm writing this down. Okay.
That she didn't have it already?
She doesn't have M count. No.
What's the whole purpose of the episode? Them finding her.
Why? Am I the only one? Who's
Yes, you
getting
are
what
the
we're
only
throwing
one.
Down here?
No, I'm telling you because I'm telling you what they said the cloning was word for word, bro, is the M count stays the same or better, which means she has an M count. She has an M count. Everybody has an M count.
Okay.
Some are more elevated than others.
You're right. You are right there. Everybody has an M count.
Yeah.
Some know
Yes.
how to tap into it. Others do
Yeah.
not.
Yes.
They're trying to okay.
And some have a higher M count than Yoda.
Than Yoda. Only one person that I know of has a higher M count than Yoda.
And we know how that turned out.
Yeah.
Ray?
Yeah.
avoid
Jar Jar
those.
Binks.
Well, now
Yeah.
doesn't that bring up something like what's Palpatine's? Like they didn't test Palpatine. I'd be curious to see that. If he's whooping on Yoda, what's
I don't
Palpatine's
know.
M count?
That fool can make babies appear like
Yeah.
Jesus. So I don't even.
man.
He just walks in a room. You're pregnant. You're
I
pregnant.
don't
You're pregnant.
know.
That's
I don't even know why he needs the whole cloning thing. He just shows up and goes, "That's it."
Seriously,
You're
It's like,
pregnant.
why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dengar's like, "Damn it!" He's like, "Oh, oops, sorry." And then, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
what's going on in your head right now? Where'd Dengar come from?
A lot.
I'm
Yeah.
sitting
I was
here
trying
just
to-
trying figure this out.
I was trying to think big boys. So
Yeah, I mean-
that's as far as I could get.
Yeah.
It was either Dengar or a Gamorrean guard, the only
Went
people I
out.
could cosplay.
That's
I mean,
Yeah.
right out of left field.
Carson
like,
Diva? Or is that
It's
cultural
definitely it's definitely confusing on this whole what's going on because they don't give us anything but breadcrumbs, and
Which is beautiful.
Mhm.
exactly, and we're left with trying to figure this out. Like, it what we I think at the end of this thing, it's not going to be left for interpretation. I think we're going to know exactly
Yeah,
what
exactly.
it's going to be done and all
because
that stuff. Now,
we left. I thought that was an awesome end. Awesome. I know. So you thought it was anticlimactic today, right? But I got so many chills on those last two talking scenes right there. And if you want to save Omega, right, you need to find out why they want her. Left me with super chills the way they said it, and it came off. Oh yeah, because that told me the next half of the season is nothing but figuring out what the hell is up with Omega, and by the end, before she dies, we'll know everything.
Yeah.
A slow.
I think we're going to be left with no questions on that aspect of it. Now, there's like it's all in. Like I said, Scott, it's like you look at it and you go, "What's the reasoning for testing them every single day?" And then it's got that addition on the vials, and that's what triggered their. Oh my God, that's Omega's the one. And then you go like, well, then this whole thing about this week is about they're after her because of her M count. It's like, well, is that the vial or is that her? So
what's weird is that as soon as they did test her positive. They weren't like, oh, it finally appeared. They're like, oh, why didn't we know this before?
Right.
So why are we testing this every week? Because no matter
that's
what
I'm saying. That's what my question was.
All of a
Day
sudden,
one.
phone 45 shows a positive. They're like, why didn't we do this before? It makes no sense. The daily testing makes no sense.
That part, the daily testing, the repetitive daily testing of the clones. Yeah, I agree. That doesn't make
like
sense.
I said, if they were injecting them, that's different.
no.
And then testing. Maybe they were injecting and test. I don't know.
They weren't injecting Omega.
No,
I
it
think they
didn't
were
look
just
like
trying
it.
to make us feel better about COVID.
See,
If you guys test every day, if you guys test every day, so do clones. You see,
these clones are quarantined on Tannis,
right?
taking involuntary shots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
man.
So yeah,
Dr. Hemlock.
So
that's
propaganda.
We'll see, right? But so okay.
Do you want to hit Travis Mitchell real quick? You want to welcome him real quick?
Welcome, Travis Mitchell. I see midichlorians like metabolism. Antone and can get out.
Antoine can get out of shape or become a bodybuilder, but genetics make it harder or easier for certain people.
Anyone.
That's what I'm saying.
To the choir. You are preaching to the choir there, man.
That's it. Just like athletics, everything else. I can shoot a basket, but if you're 4'10",
But the midichlorians they were just allow us to commune with the Force. That's what George Lucas.
The problem,
just a better connection.
Problem with midichlorians, right?
Better.
I liked it better.
This is the problem. We have too many. It just forget it.
Complicates it.
All right, hey,
Obi-Wan Kenobi's checking in.
I want to talk about Omega real quick, and her mimicking again. We hadn't seen her mimic in a while, right? And her mimicking a Crosshair today with the toothpick and everything was
I missed that.
Oh, they were in
down
the
to the
ship,
steely gaze too.
Yeah. And that to me is tapping into what you were talking about, right? Her Force stuff and just the way she's an empath. Like really, she feels everybody. She takes on their personality. She does all this. Then I was thinking, why is she so annoying and a Boy Scout all the time? Right? We're gonna save everybody. And then to hear Rex probably give 2 speeches this episode, she gets it from Rex. Rex is the guy that's going to go into battle every time. He's not going to leave a man behind. He's going to do whatever he's got to do and break the rules and don't give a damn what anybody else says, right? That's from her few interactions with Rex. I was like, oh, I have to hate her less because that's exactly how Rex is.
That 100%.
Yeah, it's annoying because it's coming from somebody who shouldn't be giving the orders, right? You're getting it from a 12-year-old instead of getting it from a G1 clone. You know, a battle hardened.
She is older than
battle hardened. Yeah.
She is. You see, older. So that's right.
She's older. Yeah,
she's older.
She is. She's older than you.
She is.
Older than your little brother.
She's probably the same age as Rex, but older than Crosshair for sure.
Yeah.
No, Brian C checking in, saying Omega's blood wasn't being tested until that day. No, it was daily.
Oh, they were testing it, but she wasn't.
Yeah, she was throwing it away.
She was throwing them away, but the thing was, they were trying to test her. They were pulling her blood. They were doing it, and why every day? Right?
Do you think that because we didn't see them draw blood from the same clone over and over and over again? Do you think they were drawing her blood over and over and over again because they never received results on her? Because we didn't see them go to the same. They didn't go to the same clone, and we didn't see them go to the same clone and draw blood repeatedly.
Somebody would have asked. Right, they'd be like, "Why aren't you doing
it would have raised some. It would have raised some kind of flag.
Where's Omega's results? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So who would be given a sample to replace her sample? Because they would be like, okay, there's a sample missing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because she was destroying it and she was putting on the side of the vial, and
there's some holes here, but I mean, they must have been trusting Alice to run the lab.
Right? I think that's what. What's her name? Naratu, whatever her name is.
No, it's Naratu.
Yeah, that's what she was doing, covering it up all this time.
Yeah.
I think. The showing us, to me, that's how I interpreted it. The showing us that she was throwing it away and keeping her safe was the whole thing. Because I thought about that too, right? It has to be missing then, right? If you have 170 on thing, but you only have 169, somebody's missing, obviously. Yeah. So I'm thinking the whole showing us that she threw it away, you have to stay safe. Don't ever do this.
I think she would be replacing it with something.
I think it goes, it goes more than that. Than just
it's so funny, but anyway, okay, so the path, right? We got Rex meeting up with Wolf and Gregor, right? So now we have the trilogy that are in Rebels, right? So this is how I saw a post on Reddit or something like that and asking, how did those three meet up? How did they come together? And there was no clarification. It's like, well, now we're getting those little pieces and those little timelines in there. So now Rex has put the seed of doubt in the Wolf, but they still chipped, right? So I'm assuming if they do see a Jedi, they'll go nuts, right? I don't know.
Wolf's G1, right? And he's I believe it's harder. It doesn't stick as well on them, so he'd be one to be able to shake it off more. And
right.
From what I understood, right?
Yeah, but the realizations of they're not, the Empire is no longer them, and now the clones, it's going to be like clones were good. They turned bad for a brief second, and now they're good again. That's what's going to happen, right? The whole, they're all going to join the rebellion. They're all going to join that. It was funny that, you were mentioning, like I said, that Rex didn't mention the bigger picture to these people. They thought it was just a false hope war that you're running into. The Empire's too big to defeat, right? That's what they were saying. But I was like, but Rex should be like, but I got Ahsoka and a whole army behind us, or a potential of this rebellion that's forming. I don't think it's an alliance just yet, but I think
it won't be for a while. It's not
right,
but Rogue One.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But there should be this thing that's like, no, there's pockets of this. I would have liked to hear Rex say that to Wolf or to the Bad Batch guys.
It's coming.
Yeah, I was like, hey, wait, tell them you got shit going down. You got stuff going. You got a couple tanks. You got an X-wing. You got,
a couple tanks and an X-wing. We're taking bitches down.
We can defeat the Empire with that. I mean, one X-wing. You know what I mean?
That's all it takes. We've seen it in the future.
Yeah, right. But I want to hear that, right? Like it's just these little things that plugs everything back in. But yes, Brian. See so the path is the Obi-Wan series, and I think Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, or I could just let you kind of get into it. But the path, because of the realization of what they've done, and about killing the leaders and stuff, they're going to join this thing about all right, now our atonement is
Yes.
is
They
gonna
might not be able to beat the Empire, but they can kind of take out what they're doing. They can stop
preserve what
they're
they've
doing.
yeah,
Right.
preserve the rest of them. And I think
Save
that
the
is
Jedi.
a great, like, that would be a great storyline going forward on that too.
Yeah.
Like where the
Yeah.
clones did this and then, like I said, got to Quinlan Voss and then
Ahsoka,
You know.
even having all these people start Ahsoka, Asajj, Quinlan, all of them be a part of the beginning of this would be fantastic. And then all of a sudden, when you watch Kenobi later, right? And
Yes,
you see
then
Kenobi, and you see him in there touching the thing and say Quinlan was here, and we've all of a sudden seen the beginning of the path and seen these people
Yeah.
in it with
And it's
Rex,
gonna
with everybody
find-
else. You're like,
Yeah.
It means so
"Oh,
much more.
Yeah,
it's
means
going to
so much
find that
more
it's on most Imperial controlled planets that this path has been spread, and it's like you're within the underground movement of these occupied territories. You're going to find these paths, and that's where like a Kenobi 2, because Reva, right? But she turned good. Never mind. Forget that. Scratch that for the record.
scratch Reva.
Scratch that for the record.
Here we go. So instead of being the Dark Times, maybe it's Star Wars: The Path. I'd rather have it called, it could be the same thing,
Yeah.
but I
Path would
could
be-
see
yeah,
them
it's
calling
still
it
that-
The Path.
Yeah, it's still that tone of the Dark Times, but the path would be
Yeah.
very, very interesting because again, it will deal with that remaining Jedi surviving, forming these rebellion pockets, and then like finding a Imperial controlled planet, and there are sympathizers in there, and getting those organized together.
And then
That
as you
could
keep
be an
going
animated
through this,
series.
then you keep going through this, and then every time you're somewhere, you get the new pocket. You're in Saw's group.
Yeah.
You're in
Yeah.
blah. You just keep
It's
going
a
around
rebel
here.
cell.
Yeah,
It's a
Yeah.
rebel cell.
You go to cell to cell, boom, boom, boom.
And
by the
there-
time
and
you
there's-
end it,
And
what
there's
you're
your new animated series.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
like it.
Star Wars: The Path.
Yeah.
And we could even, we could see the, the introduction of Two Tubes and all these, how they joined. That'd be really interesting. How
Memphis
certain
Ness's
rebels.
team, right? Like
There you
we could
go.
we could be
Yeah.
Emphasis Ness's
Oh.
mom being the leader, right? Because that's how it
That
would have
would
been
be
at this point.
awesome.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Memphis Ness and dude, there's a lot there, and I like. All right, let's we'll segment this and we'll ship it to Dave Filoni for the story.
Hold
team.
on. The other thing is the troopers, right? Because those would be kind of the main villain at this point. These new troopers we're seeing.
Yeah,
Okay,
we were introduced in season 2 with them.
Oh,
Right.
the shadow
The shadow troopers.
assassins.
I'm calling them shadow troopers because I think this is a G1 shadow trooper, death trooper, or dark.
Yeah,
trooper, right.
let's
It's a
just go with
G1
that.
something.
Yeah, let's go with that. They're
But since they said shadow in the beginning, you want to call him a shadow trooper.
Mhm.
Okay, where are we? There's a couple theories out there, right? So the theories we've talked about it being Tech or Echo or Tech. Sorry.
Tech.
The same damn character. I don't care what.
Yeah, I know.
Talked about it being Cody. People are talking about it being Cody. And I went back and watched the season 2 episode with him just to kind of see if anything working there.
Yeah, he just kind of disappeared, right? And they
He
say
went-
that he left.
That's the thing. Okay, because now that we've watched it
Yeah.
further, we know everything. We know how Rampart was and what he's done, right? When they went back and asked for Cody, or when Crosshair did, he went AWOL. Clones aren't reliable. It seemed like he wasn't mad he left. He's like, doesn't seem reliable. It means he did something, which means he could have taken him in and brainwashed him and beat the hell out of him like he did with Crosshair. But remember, Crosshair's defective. Cody's not. Cody's a good soldier anyway.
The problem with that, though, is if they unmask it, he's just going to look like every other clone because Cody didn't really have any distinctive marks other than a scar, right?
He has a
He's
C
got
scar.
Yeah.
He has a C scar on his forehead.
Okay.
We'll know right away.
Because I mean, if they took off the mask and it was Tech, we would all know because Tech has a very specific look, right?
Yeah. I think they probably gave Cody the C scar just so we'd be ready for it. Because
Right, so,
I was just checking that today. I was like, how would I thought, I'm like, how would I know? Okay, boom.
Yeah, I know Joey's with that too about that second shadow trooper in this episode being a separate, just a separate
Let's talk
person.
about that.
I thought it was just the same as the first one they captured.
Joey,
like
break
this-
that down. The theory you had mentioned earlier.
All right. It was that operative, not the first one they caught, but the second one is actually a clone of Crosshair.
Oh my!
That Crosshair. Okay. At first, when I heard it, I was like, nah, it couldn't. But then when it was broken down, that the Crosshair that's with the Bad Batch, he's got that defective hand. He's got the defective aiming. He's not the same Crosshair. But this one is like dead on like a straight.
And they went toe to toe
killer.
to each other this
Yeah.
episode.
So I don't think it's like you think the real Crosshair is the operative and the one we have right now is a fake. And I think that's still where I think it is a clone of Crosshair. That's where I'm at.
Reverse that.
I think it's a clone of Crosshair, but it's just a clone of Crosshair. Their names are CX1 and CX2, the ones we've seen, right? Crosshair Experiment 1, Crosshair Experiment 2.
Yeah.
That's how I see CX1.
Reverse that, and it's still cool because as you're saying that, it's like you look at it, go, okay, those two did face off in this whole thing. They were sniping at each other, and like they were, killing. They were trying
Young
to kill
Crosshair
each other in this
versus
whole
old
thing.
Crosshair.
Yeah, so
But-
it was,
But they would have to have cloned Crosshair like 10 years ago
No,
in order to get him to be the same age.
You've been saying, like we talked about since the Heir of the Empire show we had, right? When we brought it up the first time, and lately you've been saying Sparty.
5 years.
Sparty, okay?
Right.
Sparties are much faster. They can get them done in weeks. By the time Heir of the Empire came out, they got that process down fast. You could bust them out quick. That was the big problem. That's why Luke and everybody were freaking out. So
it's
we could
been
possibly be done.
30 years since I've read Heir to the
but then
Empire.
does their growth stop then, or is it like accelerated and then slow down?
Otherwise, you'd probably go down pretty quick. But
because it's like the movie Lost, right? or old, right? It's like shit. The afternoon
they
turned
didn't really
80.
mention that, but you get a full grown, like it comes out full grown. Then I think you're probably in regular mode. Right?
So
look,
yeah,
Gideon. Look at Gideon. Gideon had clones up the wazoo in Mandalorian. He wasn't growing those for.
Well, we don't know. We don't know how long. I mean, when was the fall of Mandalore? The fall of Mandalore was after.
10 years.
Yeah, after A New Hope. So
I think Gideon's clones were like 2 days.
Yeah,
There's not many days old, but it lost so quick. Yeah,
and it just
the weekend.
That's why
microwaves for them. Yeah,
it was a weekend,
and that could be the whole Project Necromancer if you're taking already not growing them from.
That's what I was going to say.
Speeding it up.
Bodies and then activating them with the midichlorian mix or the blood mix to already have them. So the Emperor already has bodies made. It doesn't have to go through elementary school again every single time. That's
what I was thinking.
Empire. Like in Dark Empire, the original
Dark Empire, yes.
From Dark Horse.
When Joey said that, that's what I was thinking all day. Now, unfortunately, I was trying to watch these episodes at work today.
Yeah.
And they were such stupid dark episodes, I couldn't see them. Pissed me off. No matter if I turned up the brightness on my phone, because of where I was, it was super dark. So I had to listen to everything. So listening to everything and then trying to watch it at work that's where I came up with the same thing with Joey, because the voices were almost the same tone, the way that they were speaking. Yes,
the cadence is the same. Yeah,
so
it's got the rasp, more of a rasp than everybody else.
Yeah, I felt that too, Joey. But I thought the same thing as far as what you guys are saying is. I'm wondering if that's what really Necromancer is cloning the clones, and why is she there? That she's so important, a cloner, right? Of what is she doing? When we know that they're just Necromancer, and we're jumping to the conclusion of the Emperor right away. But what if she can that's her thing, is to make them stronger, powerful, quicker, age quicker, and everything. And like you said, Mooch, there's all of these Emperors ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
But what we need is the M count from Scott. The M count from
the reason I would say
Omega.
no to that is because they bring it up in the Mandalorian Necromancer, and we're well past the clones right now. By then, right? We're talking Necromancer in the Shadow Council.
Yeah,
this is all Emperor stuff.
Because I think they're not ever going to get Omega, and that's that missing link that they needed.
Yeah, that's why Grogu is going to be important later.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think there's different. Remember, we're in Tanis, right? So you've got the Emperor stuff, Necromancer. You've got the stuff going on with the clones and the brainwashing and everything, like beating them up and doing all this stuff. And you've got the monsters, right? We've still got the menagerie coming out. We're still going to see the big Zillo beast at some point come out. You know,
they're so not going to wrap that up.
They have to. They said everything's going to be wrapped up from Clone Wars.
And they really need to.
Really loose thread.
That's going to be the harbinger. It's going to be this Jurassic Park
beast.
Freaking! Why did you put gecko blood in him? You can't see.
It's gonna be so many things just with the armor. That's probably. I'm saying you're gonna get Wampa with armor, Rancor with armor. You're gonna get all these things with just the Zillo armor.
Yeah,
it'd be like Rampage, climbing buildings, smashing things.
We already kind of had that, but you're not wrong.
Right.
Yeah. So Michael Nostalgia, did Gideon make his clones older like him? Sorry, I'm trying to get it, but comments keep popping up. Oh, thank you. Okay. Did Gideon make his clones older like him so they wouldn't be younger and rebel against him? Who knows? I mean, how do you control the mind of a
chip.
I mean, with the emperor, it makes sense,
It
right?
was
His essence transfers from
consciousness,
one to
yeah,
the
yeah.
other. Gideon, though, if you've got a whole bunch of assholes that are all trying to vie for the same,
Yeah. He was just super
it's not like
trooping
he
those
can
up.
transfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
He-
can't
yeah.
transfer his essence
Inhibitor
over.
chips.
Yeah.
But okay, but all the clones had inhibitor chips, but it didn't give them all the same personalities. It just kept them docile. Do you think an inhibitor chip could make them follow suit? Do you think it could program them with the memories of who came before?
Oh, that's a good.
There is a big plot hole there with Moff Gideon.
Well,
He
why are
wanted
we
to
thinking
be-
they know stuff? Why I'm lost on
Yeah,
that. Why?
because if it's
all
just
the clones
DNA
didn't know anything that I know of. I
No,
didn't see any
but-
clone talk.
Gideon wanted to clone himself so he could be the ultimate like Mandalorian Jedi, right? Because he injected himself with the midichlorians. He even said these were midichlorian filled clones, right? How would he control them? How would he know that his personality was going to come through on those clones if he died? You know, what was his end game?
Oh, I
prestige.
honestly think it's inhibitor chips. Just like the others, I would think.
I guess you can just answer it like Jango, right? Because all those clones weren't Jango at all. They were
Right.
just
Right.
they were just warriors trained.
They don't have the
so-
same personality.
Right, exactly. So Gideon.
But why
could
are we
control
thinking the
them from-
personality?
they can-
though? I mean, that's what part.
Yeah.
Because they're all followers to him.
Yeah.
If he's gone, he don't really give a shit. He's only worried about him, right?
Yeah.
So if they
were
have
just-
an inhibitor chip, they follow Gideon, and he's straight, just like the Emperor. He wasn't
Yeah,
he didn't care who they follow.
I don't
after
think they
him.
would carry over the traits of world domination just putting out like Gideon had. I think they would they would be trained as they open their
To
they'd
be
be trained in a
soldiers.
way. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like
yeah.
Jango and the clones. Yeah.
just better
How sad.
soldiers.
It is.
How
Well, that's
sad.
the difference between consciousness and replication, right?
Yeah, but you
DNA
mean like to the
versus-
fact that he cloned himself and wouldn't care that he's just a bunch of soldiers, kind of like Django.
Yeah.
They'll do their job well. He doesn't care if they're a bunch of his
They're
kids
just
except the
bodies.
one,
Yeah.
except the one. The rest of
When
them
he
are
was
just
such
fodder.
The most
was such
important
a-
part of the whole story.
Yeah.
He was such an egotist, though.
Sure.
Gideon was such an egotist that he wanted to be the one that had all the power. And
Imagine
here he is
arguing with
giving-
yourself.
God,
I
right?
think Gideon would be like, "Nah, he's gonna have and destroy the the next ones are gonna be 0 IQ." You know, like
I totally get
It's
what
cool.
everybody's saying right now, and it just
Yeah.
made me wonder now when they came out like that, right? Is that just like
Dangers
an
of
option
cloning.
you can do? Is it an option of having your whole self, your likeness, your everything, and age?
Your
I
memories?
want age 22 me. Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing past 22 me, and
I don't think they clone
All
your
the knowledge
memories.
is there.
Like,
I don't
Yeah,
wanna
like,
speak
the
Spanish.
personality they made him more docile than the original host, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. They can do that to personality
through
stuff,
DNA, yeah.
but not the
Only-
memories probably.
Only
Yeah,
the
memory
Emperor could do
experience.
that.
Oh,
with
whoa,
transferring his essence.
Yeah, Sabaoth had memories. Sabaoth thought had been in the Clone Wars.
Oh, see, here we go. This is the danger. This is the worst thing about George Lucas to do with clones. I'm telling you, this is the exact argument because it goes back to that. You're right.
Sabaoth
You're
didn't
right.
know he was a clone
Like wait. Oh,
at first.
I'm gonna just bring this side tangent, but it does make sense. DC Comics does this a lot. Okay, they had there's that one the Batman comics where they cloned Bruce Wayne. He woke up and he knew exactly what he went through from childhood to that point. We woke up, but he was born that day. And that's the so there is a
Invincible.
way. I
The
guess.
clones never know who the first clone is.
Yeah. So
They're same thing. They all have the same memory.
this is the problem with
Yeah.
this is the cloning problem from day one. I'm telling you, I never liked it.
Because if they're cloning full-size people,
Yeah.
right? They're not going through the incubations. They're not going through the stage like Django. It's different now.
Right.
If they've got it to where they just that's pretty much what we see, right? Because the Snoke things are full size. The things
Yeah.
we've seen with Gideon were full size.
I think it's the body test
full
first.
size now.
Yeah. It's the flesh
Yeah.
test first. Can this flesh test handle this force using midichlorian whatever? And
Yeah.
then it's the Project Necromancer would be to live forever, bringing them back to life, bringing the dead to life, but and then taking his force essence, kill. That's exactly what Rise of Skywalker would do. Kill me, stab me, and then I'm gonna just my spirit will just consume
hop on
Rey.
in.
Yeah.
and again,
Hop
I'm going
on
back
in,
to
yeah.
why- I'm saying this is why Namaste is there. is because everybody is going to learn off of her. Because remember, we see them later
He
in
knows
Mando.
how to do it. Yeah.
Pershing he has the patches on. He's a cloner now. So I think she was they killed everybody on Camino. They got the smartest one, the one who knows all the knowledge. They use Omega as bait. Now they can't do that anymore. They realize she does know what she's doing. They have this knowledge, and all these other people are going to be taught it. And that's where the cloning then continues on.
Because they,
you know what they do? If they can keep their memories, you clone Nala Say and make her less docile,
right,
or more docile, and then you just get all the knowledge, and she does what she wants with an inhibitor chip. That's what they should have done.
And I think that's where the conflict. I think that's why Tantus exists. I think that's why everything did not happen according to plan further down the line. And you got Snoke again going back to that, and then all of a sudden Snoke appears and he became independent as his own emperor, right? Like
this is
he might have been an emperor clone, but the consciousness became an individual, right?
The difference between basic cloning and Project Necromancer. Basic cloning is cloning somebody, where Project Necromancer is
copying
rebuilding a body for an essence that exists.
Yeah,
right.
That's because that's the whole idea of necromancy, right? Staying alive forever, bringing yourself back to life. So cloning and Project Necromancer are two peas in the same pod, but one has a completely different level to it, right?
And that's where like
essence
Palpatine wants to be Palpatine again.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. That's his personal project. Hemlock is his dark scientist. That's you know.
Dr.
I'm telling you, Snoke is still going to be a Sheev and an Omega messed up. That's what's going on. Is Omega was the key.
Yeah.
I need to use her, and that's where they keep getting Snokes from until they finally got it right and they could bring back his body.
And in order to do that, you have to destroy Omega, right? Right, Joey? Right? Destroy Omega.
I think it's Hemlock messing with himself.
Very
makes
slowly.
the first Snoke.
Very slowly.
That makes.
But then you're gonna hear her. You're gonna hear her yelling in pain the whole time, Joe.
Oh, Joey likes that. He's cool.
Ricker,
All in.
that's your
If you're gonna get it right, you gotta take your time and do it slowly.
Whoa!
All right.
See, I missed the first sentence, and everything I heard after that. If we play this back, you'd be like, "Oh, poor, whoever didn't hear the first sentence."
I know, right?
The next three sentences it just got worse.
It's definitely that's the great thing about like what the show is doing, is definitely making us talk. It's definitely making us theory crafting and pulling all these sources in to be like, how is this working? Like, how is this
trying to make sense of it all?
And it could go 5 different ways. There's not one set path until we get it black and white, right? And like I said, at the end of the day, I hope we do. I hope there is that answer, at least questions. You know what I mean? I love theory crafting, but for this aspect of what Necromancer is, because then when we get into Mandalorian, it's like it's dangerous. It's like it's not, it's got to be something worth stopping as far as the the fight, the new fight. And the new fight should be the Emperor's inevitable return or not. That should be the new fight. Not First Order stuff. But anyway, I digress on that.
They're going to realize after Asajj shows up that the piece missing is Night Sister magic.
Yes.
And that's
and Thrawn figured it out. And
to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the cool direction, right? That's the cool direction to go to.
If it's Night Sister magic, then the clone, the assassin, the Dark Trooper is Tech then.
Yeah, I always have to be like,
oh, not yet. They don't have it yet.
Yeah,
that's what they don't realize. They realize that they don't get it until Ahsoka.
We might have lost Joe. His internet was going in and out. So,
but he would have just fell off if it was the internet out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just had a poop. We just had a poop real quick.
Yeah, so that would be so that would be like the thing, the missing key.
I'm next.
Why it hasn't been working as the Night Sister. I'm next.
I gotta go.
yeah, that would be the key.
Can I get the key, please? Thank you.
It's a big toilet seat. Yeah.
Walking down the hall too with it.
Gotta wear it around your neck.
Yeah.
God.
Ryan C is saying so cloning is the best understanding for extension version of life until something is resolved with Project Necromancer.
And it kind of has been for a long time through Star Wars, but cloning and essence transfer. Those are the two things. Right?
And
So-
I see there's almost 3 levels to it, right? There's the cloning version. So you can clone a body until the cows come home, right? We've seen that. Then there's cloning with M count. And that's where we're at right now with Omega. Sorry.
Mhm,
And then we've got the essence transfer part of it. So it's almost like 3 parts they're trying to put together.
Yeah.
It's Voltron. We're making Voltron Emperor.
There's
That's
Joe.
what it is.
that wasn't the shit.
That
No, that was a quick tinkle.
yeah, that wasn't a yeah, that was
a quick tinkle.
that was a
No.
quickie.
Yeah.
That makes I see that I like that aspect of it because they're not there yet. It's
Yeah.
like again, this is the beginning of the Empire, and they put these things in fast-paced mode, like first take over the galaxy, then put all these scientists and thing, and then create these super weapons, and then nobody can stop us, right? It's just like this progressive thing, and then Luke Skywalker comes along and wipes it all up.
Why do I suddenly see the Emperor as Brain and Darth Vader as Pinky? What are we gonna do tonight, Vader?
It's 100% right.
That's
So-
awesome. What I think is neat too, the Emperor just has. I think we've always known this too. Just has a lot of projects going on, right? A lot of shit going, a lot of irons in the fire, a lot of ways to destroy and control and stuff. And I freaking think this is awesome. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a glimpse of some Death Star shell by the end of this series.
That wouldn't
Right.
surprise me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the basic skeleton of it, right?
Like
I
the
mean, we
end
already
of
saw
Revenge.
it. in
We're gonna-
Revenge of the Sith.
No, we're gonna get in cartoon form the Andor shot.
Putting stuff together.
The very
the
first
whole-
one
everything.
everything's going into place.
The pieces, going into the thing in the crawl, everything.
I'm down with that. Yeah.
We're gonna get that just in a
And it's
cartoon
gonna be
shot.
Zillow Beast technology with the armor plating.
It'll be controlled Zillow Beast putting it together.
Yeah.
It's not that
Yeah.
far. We're not that far. Away.
Wasn't it again, side tangent, but wasn't it in Rebels where they found out ion technology? Was it ion technology in Rebels?
What do you mean?
The ion
found
beams
it.
that disable the shit because the armor's too
They were-
powerful. Was that in Rebels where they had to discover it? I
I
forgot.
think they were using
from
that in
Sabine's
Clone Wars.
weapon.
Yeah, it was. I
No,
forgot where.
Sabine's weapon could just affected Mandalorian
Mando
Beskar.
weapon.
Beskar, yeah.
Beskar, right.
But didn't she say that led
No.
to other projects?
Something happened where there was a
It did lead to other
episode. I don't know if it was
projects.
Clone
That's what
Wars
she
or
said. She said,
if it was
yeah,
Rebels.
she said something to. That's what it was for, and that's where she felt the guilt because of the Mandalorians are being killed from the stuff that she did, but that it also furthered other projects, which they realized.
The only reason I bring it up is because Zillow Beast armor is like that armor is too powerful for penetration. That's why they developed ion technology to disable, EMP beds, basically like disable things, and then they wouldn't have to destroy the Star Destroyers, right? Because they could never blow them up.
Right. Like in Empire Strikes Back, whenever they use
Yeah,
it.
I'm trying to use Zillow Beast into the Imperial threshold or into the thing here. So if that armor is impenetrable, then the Emperor, that's exactly why he wanted the Zillow Beast, right? So
Then I still want the Bendu back. Then
yeah,
you're waiting for the
Bendu
Zillow
is-
Beast answer. Then I want the Bendu back.
Bendu versus Zillow Beast.
dude. I thought
be
about
like,
that today, and
That'd be
I
cool.
thought about
That'd be
today,
cool.
and I trust Dave Filoni to bring the Bendu back in some way in
Oh,
Ahsoka or something.
live
like that.
action, dude. We're getting a
Yeah,
live
yeah,
action Bendu. There's zero chance
100%.
we don't. I mean, there's no way. We're getting that at some point. It's probably the movie. Bendu is movie
Scene where-
budget, dude.
It's the scene where Filoni says everybody to shut up, and they're just all in one scene.
Yeah.
Bendu, everybody who we said.
The
what's
Filoni
his name?
Bukkake, like he did in that
Yeah,
one
yeah.
episode where he had everybody watching Ahsoka. Like every
Right.
one of his favorite characters was watching her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get the Zillow Bees. We'll get the Bendu. They're all there.
Yeah.
And it's Ezra just saying,
Hondo.
"Be with me." Ezra's just like, "Be with me, be with
Oh,
me," and all of a sudden, Bendu and
Hondo,
Ahsoka
dude.
and
Yeah.
Hondo.
So speaking
Hondo
of,
is due. We don't talk about him in this. And
Hondo is
you know why?
overdue.
Because every minute that goes past, we're not. It's just not. It's like it's getting
but
further and
again,
further apart.
children Jedi. If this hits the path, Hondo is the perfect character.
Yep.
Perfect character. But
Yeah, of
you would
course,
think you
yeah.
would have mentioned that at some point in Rebels.
Yeah.
But
If it doesn't happen, it's not happening. If it doesn't
he wasn't
happen
a
in the
big part
next
of it.
7
Like,
episodes,
starting it, he
then-
could have helped. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. It just has to be a connection real quick.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, he
Yeah,
doesn't have to be there
yeah.
the whole time, just to help set up or work
Right,
past
yeah.
him or something. Yeah, Hondo just needs
Yeah.
a quick
Yes.
Yeah.
bit of
Well,
love.
Did you
I
guys
love the fact that we were supposed to end this episode with Bad Batch talk, and we started it. Bad Batch talk.
Oh, hey man, the chat was already rolling on it.
Yeah,
Like,
they
let's just jump
they
on
were.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
We tried to slow it down, go through some news. Talk about
On the movie front, like talking about like Ahsoka and all that stuff, but I've been hearing some things on the internet that Mando season 4 is not coming, but it's not confirmed that it's not coming, but there's things people are involved with saying I haven't gotten the call yet, or I haven't.
And of
there's
course,
nothing going on.
Ernie disappears.
Yeah, see, there you go.
No Mando season 4.
Yeah, I've been.
They just can't say that they're in it,
right? But it also kind of goes to our talk from all these things about the Mando Grogu. The Mando Grogu movie being that bridge that bridges everything else, and why have a season 4? Like what possibly can be in the season 4 that the other shows or a broader picture can't do, right? So on one hand, I'm going like, all right,
movies. You're making movie show.
I don't think that. I think that's wishful thinking, because I don't think Disney or Lucasfilm is doing that anymore, right? I think they have a number of things they're doing. I go, that's it. We're done after this, as far as this time frame. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. Like I said, the way they wrapped everything up, and it was almost like a pivot 180, and they just kind of wrapped it up. And then we have this movie coming out, and then Ahsoka just set everything, this broader picture back up. It makes sense to me that they would just combine the shows for an Ahsoka series, that Mando Grogu would be in it. Maybe not as prevalent. Not even
call it, maybe there's no more Ahsoka season 2, no more Mando season 4, no more.
It's something else.
2. It's just Star Wars. Whatever.
It's Heir to the Empire series.
Heir to the Empire now. Season 1.
That'd be great.
That's it.
Yeah.
Except you kind of have to have an Ahsoka season 2, because they're in a different galaxy. They're in a galaxy far, far, far away, right?
But if you have a show
all the main action is happening in.
Well, if you have a show that's bringing all of it in, right? Yeah. Like we have Ahsoka things, and we have Mando things, we have Thrawn things. Then you can have this umbrella show and still have
Star Wars tends to have 3 different stories going at once anyway.
Yeah, so
right,
true.
Yeah, as much as we would like to kind of like series it out, right? You know, because the Ahsoka series is becoming more broader than just Ahsoka, right? Mandalorian and Grogu are becoming more than just those two, because Grogu picked Mando. We had the Luke thing. I think that now the broader picture turns into something else, you know, and it could all just melt into this one series that now you have all these origin. It's almost like the movies, like the origin series. And now you have, like, we'll just call it the Heir to the Empire series. And that can go 5, 6, whatever, and movies in between, or what have you. It's like you look at it on the surface, you look at it on paper, and you're kind of like, oh my God, that's almost like where you think they're going, right? Until announcements. You go, Mando Grogu movie. There's rumors out there that actors said, look, even the guys who played the Mandalorian, like in the stunts, is like, I haven't been called or anything. There's no word. There's nothing. It's radio silent. But they didn't say it wasn't happening either. That's
Brendan Wayne talking. So I mean, they have NDAs up the wazoo.
Yeah,
have to say, I don't know.
Unfortunately, we're still on the huge repercussions of COVID, and then to top it off, the strike and everything that went on.
Well, yeah, and we talked about Lucasfilm being scared to do anything that doesn't work anymore either.
Correct, but everybody is, as far as in movie theaters. Yeah,
everything's a bomb. Remember, everything's a bomb. So
yeah, because from the strike, we're still dealing with all those repercussions from it. I think it's going to take until 25 to get everything straight and figured out, and a correct board of what's to come. And I think 26 will be right on track.
Well,
it's probably why they're delaying other things, right? Companies are delaying movies out far.
Correct.
Well, that, Ernie, and also they could have regrouped and said, look, we've got this, we've got a better plan, a better version of what we were planning, and we've got this thing, and we're taking this opportunity of the time and regrouping and being like, okay, we put Dave Filoni is now the head story dude. Now we got all these projects, and now we've got things where they go, okay, the way they we wrapped up season 3 perfectly, because we can go anywhere. We can do anything. Yes, we have the Carson Teva stuff. We still have, stuff that's out there. And the Ahsoka set up this brand new problem and era and just everything that we can now put these characters into that. So we could be seeing a revamp of what was planned, a brand new line, a brand new direction. You know what I mean? And you know, and using the strike and COVID and stuff as a benefit, as far as like taking the time, regrouping, and not just put stuff out there just because they have to, you know, as fans, that's what we want. We want quality over quantity. You know, we don't want just because that's how the sequels became such a mess. They just every 2 years we're just throwing it out there and forget what we did. But
we want that, but unfortunately, the others
now
who are throwing up on it, their attention span is too. Mando was so last year. We didn't get a new one in a couple of months. Move on to the next thing.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
That's
And I think
streaming
that's where
attitude.
it has to
Though.
push.
Yeah,
It is.
You know?
And that's what I'm saying
Yeah.
is that hopefully the regrouping and everything turns into streaming and movies that coincide with each other. At the
I think
same
it
time
will.
to-
I just don't
to
think we're
keep
going to
it
get that
going further.
quantity that we expected.
Mhm.
Like I don't think we're going to get 7 seasons of Mando, 5 seasons of Ahsoka. I think it's going to be more concentrated. And it seems to me they have confidence in this new department, this new writing team, a new direction going forward. Because I mean, guys, look at the Acolyte. Acolyte is supposedly rumored to come out June 5th. And they're already got confirmation that they're writing season 2. This is the same confidence that Mandalorian had before it was launched. It was like we have Mandalorian, but we're already writing season 2. And
Yeah, we accidentally got an Ahsoka season 2 announcement, right?
That was
right
almost
away.
like by force, right? They had to, because they was like, we're here. We have to say this now, right? So, which is more. It's another confidence boost in my personal consumption of Star Wars, because I wasn't that kind of excited with Acolyte, but now that I'm like stuff that I've been hearing about, the more Sithy stuff, more of that cloak and dagger sit, but like more you know, history and things happening, and all of a sudden they've got season 2. That means they've got this idea of concept. I'm looking at the positives of it. You know,
I like it, and I want to get excited about it too. But I remember the day that Solo came out, they were talking about a Boba Fett movie, right?
Right.
They were so confident in the way the Han Solo movie was coming out that they were already talking about a Boba Fett movie with the guy who directed Logan and Indiana Jones and the
Mangold.
No, it wasn't Mangold.
Wasn't it?
Mangold.
Yeah,
I thought it was Mangold.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Spielberg.
And the minute Solo didn't track the way they wanted it to, still riding off the wave of Last Jedi, all those plans fell through. And Lucasfilm also has this tendency to say, we're going to do this. Look at our whiteboard that has all this amazing shit on it.
We'll get
We're
the
not gonna
applause
do-
now and then scrap
Right.
it later. Yeah.
We're going to do only this one thing. And by the way, here's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah,
You're welcome,
right.
Right.
Book of Fett
Here's-
2 came that
oh,
way. Kenobi came
Lando.
that way. Yeah.
Right. Lando, C-3PO, all these things, or droids and Tales of the Jedi, all this stuff. Ooh, we're getting Tales of the Jedi. Book of Boba Fett. You know, it's like that. It's like they spring things on us.
Yeah.
So saying the
Rangers
Acolyte
is
season
gone.
2's Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
Droids.
Saw something today that she might be attached to it again.
Oh, that too again. You know,
Who?
Patty Jenkins. I think Patty Jenkins said
Oh,
that
no.
she's still working on it. It's something like that, right?
Don't need it.
Yeah.
It's
Stop.
It's just I try to temper my excitement over it. You know, I really want to see the Acolyte. I'm excited to see the Sithy side of things, but don't tell me that Acolyte 2 is coming out until I've seen Acolyte 1. You know, hold that information back a little bit. You know, don't.
Yeah.
I did check. It was Mangold. My bad. And then,
Yeah.
but yeah, I remember he was in the back. He was backstage with a trailer at a convention about to come out, and they stopped it.
They tackled him at the door.
That's how close. There's a trailer somewhere for a Boba Fett movie, a sizzle reel.
Yeah.
Sizzle
You know,
roll. Yeah.
or
Like
at
they
least a
did with Rogue
concept
One.
reel. Right.
Like, yeah.
And we will never ever. Well, maybe we'll see it someday, but it's out there somewhere because they were
I
ready.
got to
roll
see it, but I can't talk about it.
That's dirty.
It was
Ernie.
pure perfection.
This is
You
why Ernie had
lie.
so much hope for Book of Fett. He's like, I seen
Yes.
it, and it
And
was
then it
Yeah.
happened,
glorious.
and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
It was just a whole bunch of Vespa chases. It was beautiful. It was
great.
So great.
It was awesome. Sarlacc
Actually,
everywhere.
in the original Boba Fett movie, the Vespa chases were a lot faster. Okay, they were just a lot faster.
they were okay.
They
'cause
had that-
the bikes were dirty.
The bikes were dirty, and they had that big screen money behind the speed.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my
But
God.
you're 100% right. Like, let us consume this Acolyte thing before they. And it wasn't an announcement. It was the writers let it go. It's like, no,
Yeah.
we're like somebody had mentioned, like, I'm working on season 2 already.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
swear
said,
the internet and the scoopers and the people that talk too damn much ruin all this shit.
yeah,
They ruin
and that's
fun of it.
the people who are working on it can't help it, but they say these little things, you know.
Yeah,
And that's
here
where
we are
NDAs
spilling
come into
it
play.
too. And, you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
But it gives us
That's where
content.
NDAs come into play. Just you've signed an NDA. Shut the hell up.
Shut up.
Don't
Yeah.
say anything.
That's why it's good that Brendan Wayne would say, "I haven't been approached." That's
Yeah.
Right.
That's what that's an NDA answer.
Yeah.
You can-
Yes,
But
it
why
is.
is he
believe
putting
anybody's
himself in the
answer.
situations he's getting at? Yeah. So if you
No,
have
'cause
an
everybody
NDA,
asks because everybody's dumb. What they're saying is they had Brendan Wayne on a podcast to talk about something. They ask about Star Wars. He's all, "I haven't been approached." They sucker him in and ask a question. He can't answer because we know we've had people on here, right? They'll tell you can't answer that. They know we know what they can't answer.
yeah. It's those, but it's exactly. It could be nothing. There could be nothing on the surface of that, right? Like nothing. But what it makes you ask the question to yourself. It's like, okay, not knowing that. Now, what if they didn't make a season 4? Right? What if season 3 was all and they had the Grogu movie? Because again, I'm still trying to pinpoint this movie as far as like the why, not what it can do, but like why are they doing this now? Like why now and stuff. And yes, we could bridge the gaps. We can do these things, all that stuff. But it's like, why do it versus a season? Like why don't they just do a season 4 that does the same thing? Right? You would think.
And then you'd get it'd be a bigger story, right?
Yeah.
More
6
drawn-out
hours
story.
versus 2 hours or whatever.
Right?
They must have.
Now, hear me out. Hear me out here. Rhino Hobbies. Robert Rodriguez will introduce space vampires. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it too.
I think to point back to the movie, to the show, to the movie budget, right? Because although they give a lot of money to the shows,
they do.
You get a lot. It's a lot different than a movie budget, right?
It is.
It's close, but it's different. So you can tell more story if you go back and forth.
And the money and the return is different too, because the movies have to hit.
Yeah,
they don't always get their money back. With a streaming service, you do get that money and that long-term plan. Like you will get $20 million a month or whatever they do, so they can go, okay, we're going to spend $100 million on this show and it'll take us 5 months to get it back.
I think the return though is more instantaneous with a movie, right?
Yeah,
because
more instantaneous if it's successful. Now remember today's day, everything is at a loss. Everybody's in the red. No matter what, before one ticket sold, I'm in the red. I can't sell a ticket. It's like, what happened?
Now, does that work with Star Wars? Because it doesn't work with Marvel, right? It doesn't work. Your shows to movie. It's a clusterfuck. Right?
That's what
Star Wars, I don't think it's a cluster. I think we're pretty we know that Ahsoka and Mandalorian are in the same universe because they've both been in the same shows, right? We know Boba Fett has his own show, but can go between universes because he's been in one of them. And I know Marvel does that, but we don't really know what's going on, right? It's kind of, and I don't know that I can watch 100 different shows. Is it okay that Star Wars only really has maybe say 3-4 main shows?
I'm okay with it.
Is that better? Or is that better than say the Marvel thing that has
I say it's okay.
I mean, I know it's better. I'm just
there's a yes and no answer to me personally. If you have 3 simultaneous shows in this one timeline, that are jumping around, that is very convoluted, and movies in between. It's very convoluted. Right. I would like to see it split so there is a definitive look and era to this show, and this show. Yes, it's still hard to explain, like why is Rey and Darth Revan, and why is the show about Darth Revan, and why do we have the show about Rey?
Where did the Bad Batch fit in? Where does the Bad Batch fit in? Where did the clones?
It's like we're doing that now, but we're going to stretch it out further. So it's a yes and no kind of like response, I guess, right? I don't know. That's tough, man. I have to think about that too, because for us, I think we're cool with it, but hey, Star Wars is for the masses and everything, and we want this whole talk. It just doesn't work sometimes. Like Marvel's, I don't know where I'm at in Marvel. Like, what is this? What is a TV? I still don't know what the TVA is. I'm sorry. I still don't understand. No matter how many times it's explained to me.
It's Time Variance Authority. What they do is basically they protect the sacred timeline.
That's for Beyond the Pit.
Again, I'm already lost.
That's Beyond the Pit. We got to talk about Beyond the Pit.
They protect 616.
Yeah.
There you go.
Gordon
Skalski saying, is it true that Mando film will only shoot in LA? The word I heard this week is that they're going to start filming there, but they also have some location shoots that are overseas as well.
Yeah,
I
heard UK and LA.
UK.
But the majority, I think the studio shots are in LA. That's where they're getting that tax break and everything. But yeah,
when they go, they already have a Millennium Falcon built at Pinewood. So
Yes.
when they go,
UK. Yeah.
Wait,
No.
what?
well, yeah, we've had movies out there, right? So they
Oh,
still
I'm
go
sorry.
forward.
I thought you meant you like saw a report that the Millennium Falcon has been built, and I'm like,
I sure
well,
did
buckle
back
up,
when
baby.
The Force
Here we go.
Awakens and Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. So they've had this Millennium Falcon for a while,
No, they
right?
already
You know, they
told
didn't just trash it. They've got a Millennium Falcon. They're keeping it, and so many people are looking at it. It's at least in pieces in a warehouse.
Yeah.
Putting it back together, getting it ready, pretty easy,
Of
right?
course,
That's
we're
where
gonna
you
need
go.
that later.
We're,
I
we're
hope.
gonna need it
That'd
for
be
the
great.
movie. The Falcon's
Yeah.
showing up.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Confirmed.
Yeah,
You
Confirmed.
heard it here first
You
on
heard-
Sarlacc Digest.
That's
It is
where
confirmed
that's
that
where
the
you
Millennium Falcon-
reintroduce your core people. That's when you can use the movie money to bring
Yeah.
in your legacy people. Luke's been cool so
computer
far.
generated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Luke's been cool so far, but you throw him on the big screen and use the Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones type technology money, then we're cooking, man. Then you got all three of them back.
If you're deep faking this stuff and it's working as it was with Luke and everything,
You use the movie money.
the sky's the limit, man.
Yeah.
Like sky is the
Yeah.
limit. Like seriously. And Matt,
I mean, you could use Billy Lord, I guess. You use Billy Lord as the basis for Leia, and because she kind of has the same tone in her voice, it might work.
Yeah, the guy that did Luke already is perfectly fine, right?
Yeah.
And then Harrison Ford, we know we've got doubles for.
Well, they
Harrison
did it
Ford.
with
You
the
can use
new
Alden
indie
or
movie.
what's
I
his
mean-
name, the guy that looks like him. It's easy.
Yeah.
And they did it in the movie. It's
yeah,
plenty
yeah.
easy.
That see to me, I was like, that was a test. You know what I mean? Like, could we?
That
and
was a
it
Star
worked
Wars
so
test
well.
for Han.
Yeah.
It was.
And
So,
they
it worked so well,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
you think that was 2 years ago already, so it can improve even further. You know?
Yeah. Now you just tell the computer
Jesus.
to do it, and it'll do it.
Yeah. Now you just speak it through Siri. You know?
Save him.
Oh man, but yeah,
Siri, de-age Harrison. Ford.
DH Han Solo, please.
How
Or
old shall
Siri,
he be?
de-age me, please.
Yeah, see that. Yeah, see Gordon. Yeah, that's what we do here, man. That's what you guys are getting my hopes up way too high. That's what we do when we start to talk about in theory about like the what if, like the implications of everything that we see on screen. And again, it's and right now it's the Bad Batch. So we'll take something like the M count, and now we're like, oh crap! I know they didn't specifically say midichlorians, but come on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, obviously.
come
we
on,
got that.
yeah. So and then you go, okay, now we have in our heads that it just spins off, and the ripple went through the timeline again, and all. And what did it mean from day one to day zero here, and in the future, and that's the cool thing about it. And then we talk ourselves to some cool aspects, like we said that would be awesome if Snoke did this way, and then nothing happens, and we're like, well, we got that. but usually I think what we do get is cool too. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that
No. There's been
Mostly
times where like
yourself.
that one's
well, it has been times like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I'm hoping that because Dave Filoni's now is like, okay, will he have moments like that? Probably, but I think for the most part, the stuff
Filoni's
that he's
ended
gonna give
everything
us-
the way it should end.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
how I see it. So I'm not.
And Gordon just said that's exactly why fans should be making Star Wars movies, and I ultimately see Dave Filoni as the biggest Star Wars fan out there. Right?
he
Yeah.
is.
He's just a fan that just happens to be working for, he happens to have the force flowing through him, right?
Yeah.
So I really do trust
was-
what that man puts out there. It's
I think if
the
Bad
beat of George.
ends well, that's like he's nailed them all. Then I have
Yeah.
zero worry for everything
He's-
else coming up. That's it. If he can
He's
make me
been
care about Bad
handpicked.
Batch and be
Yeah.
upset or really really love the finale, I'll have nothing. But
Yeah. It was his stamp of approval that did all this. So, and he was handpicked by George Lucas and groomed by George Lucas. In
I
a
knew
lot
it.
of ways.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
knew it.
Yeah.
Grooming.
So
He's
In
even
a
wearing
sense-
flannels and faded jeans.
he's got his signatures. He's got a signature
about-
hat.
About 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you're right, Chris. Like at the end of the day, when we get the last episode of the season, I think I'm going to walk away going like, that was awesome. And it's, yes, we talk about the different directions, but again, we've always said this too. When it happens in canon, it's gospel. It's like set in stone. This is what happened. And now we put it in its place and now we talk about it. Right.
yeah, whether we liked it or not, it just becomes it.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
whatever,
There's nothing we can do about it other than,
And then we
raising
spend
them.
hours trying to make sense of it, where Project
And make it better.
Necromancer starts, and
Yeah.
exactly.
but- right.
and I said at the beginning, I said, I don't want the questions unanswered like that. Like these
Not this time.
so
Yeah.
is so here's these little breadcrumbs and then figure it out, but we're never going to go back to it unless we'll do it, way out in a, not even a book, but like season 18 of whatever. And it's nothing. It's completely different,
Yeah.
That's what
we don't have to
trading
have
cards
everything
before.
spelled out, but something like this we do.
Right.
Like
When they
you
open
do
up
it.
something, you got to close it, right?
Like Necromancer, we need that
Yeah.
spelled out. We need it.
Yeah.
You run the risk of the over explaining, the
Yeah.
over explanation of the, like in the prequels and stuff. They did over explain things in some cases, right? Not
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
It really did. It took away all the mystery. I still wanted a little mystery. They took away all the mystery.
Yeah, all
figure
of
out
it.
how all the
Like,
sausage was made. So
Yeah. And I knew, and
Give
I
us a
said
little
this. I
mystery.
wish, and I told this is the dangerous of the clones, the bringing clones in there. Like I know Chris and I had this discussion before. It's like maybe it's not the clones we think. Maybe it's clones because everybody looks alike. Like it just calling it a description of the times versus literally clones. And then when it was like clones, I'm like, you know what I mean? You
How's
start
this gonna
crying.
work? Yeah. Or clone Jedi. It was we didn't know what was gonna happen, right?
we
That's
didn't
kind of
know
how
who
Sabaoth
the
worked,
clones
right? They were clone
Yeah.
Jedi.
Yeah. Well, and then that's how Boba Fett was. I thought Boba Fett was like an individual. I mean, he still is. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But at the same time,
it
For
would be
a
one
minute
thing
that ran through my head that he was the operative.
yeah.
Maybe.
it would be one thing if
yeah.
they made clones, if they made these clones like zombies where they didn't talk, they were emotionless, they were just there to fight. But they made them to where they have feelings.
They did. Yeah.
They have their own their own attitude, different attitudes. They think on their own. That's where what you're talking about.
Is that a
You know,
good thing or a
Joey-
bad thing you're saying?
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
a-
Clone
it's a
Wars-
good
humanizes them.
It's a
Yeah.
good thing,
Yeah.
but then again, like Mooch said, it raises more questions and it raises more. How do you explain? How do you do this? How do you do that? Instead of just like, okay, they're clones and
Right. To just fodder. That's
yeah.
how they were bred as fodder, but they became personalities. Like through
That's
the
what
Clone
made
Wars
it best. What
cartoon.
Clone Wars
But
did,
it's
right?
good for it's
Yeah.
a good story. It's a good storytelling.
Yeah.
It's not,
It
because
just raises more questions.
if you have a droid army, which are soulless, mindless, just numbers, and you're going against actual planets like families and stuff, that is like detrimental, right? So what they did, what George Lucas did is like, we're creating another mindless army, quote unquote, like to combat a mindless army. So there's really no humanitarian law, but there is, but at the surface, there's like, it's just blanks versus blanks, clones, soulless clones versus clunkers, machines. And so when they're fighting, it's just who has the bigger numbers. And then what Clone Wars did is like, they kind of put this their own. It was one big family, and all the brothers, the whole thing, and that's what made you really feel when they did go to the battle and they got killed, and
Yeah,
and all the purpose of it.
Kill
And
each other. They put the stunner on instead of actually
and
killing
that
each other.
makes it work so much when Rex is confronted by confronts Wolf and says, "This is what's happening." Wolf has that realization: my brothers, I'm killing my own brothers. What the hell's going on? And that's why this separation has happened. Yeah.
And Matthew Carlisle says it just like that. That's why animated Clone Wars works so great. We got to see the clones as individuals. 100%.
And see, now
I
the
didn't
Empire.
give a damn about them before Clone Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
Now when you watch Revenge of the Sith and Cody immediately.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you doing, dude?
You just gave him a high five. Yeah.
Which
No
again comes back
hesitation.
to that Cody theory, right? If that guy is Cody, and watching back that other episode, which has to get cleared up because Cody has to come back. He's AWOL, so he's either with them or he's against them. So I mean, I guess that's where the theory comes from, right?
Right.
Cody's one that thinks thought he killed Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? He's obviously a good soldier. He's the only clone I've noticed where they changed his colors, right? Everybody else has their purple. Everybody else has their colors. Cody was
everybody else was almost reduced back to their just plain whites, right? None of them had personality except Wolf. Wolf retained the personality in his armor. Right?
See, I thought pretty much everybody, like the main guys, the commanders, still pretty much had them, and everybody in this last episode did. But going back to Cody was gray. His whole thing was exactly the same, but he was grayed out. And I'm thinking that's kind of he's not coming. I think he's not coming back. I think he's going to be the heartbreak. Really rough piece on Rex. I think somebody mentioned in here too, where they're gonna have to have a showdown, right?
We wanted a Cody Rex showdown from day one, right?
Yeah, I think that's coming up too, and I don't want him to be redeemed. I don't want him to be part of this posse. I want them to have to take out Cody. you know, and just make that make that the really hard.
That's where we thought was going to be the
that.
Crosshair moment, right? Crosshair was what was going to be the character that he's no redemption, no return, and they have to kill him.
Out Crosshair.
Cody takes out Crosshair, and Rex takes out
Rex
Cody.
takes out Cody. That's how I want to see it.
Why would Cody do that though? Because if Cody has gone, unless he is the
brainwashed
Trooper X that you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, brainwashed, because they took it right. Same thing they did to Crosshair, but it didn't take on Crosshair. It takes on Cody, and Cody was already a good soldier who was following orders most of the time.
Yeah.
So
wouldn't that be absolutely horrible though if all of that went down the way it does, and Rex takes out Cody, and that's what makes Rex decide to go with his brothers to that planet and just live as hermits?
Yeah.
In that ATTE, that would. Doc, that would be tragic.
Yeah,
I love it. Let's have it happen.
Yeah, because we know he gives up at one point.
Yeah, he goes to live on that planet with his
Right.
brothers.
They retire and they're done at some point. So
and I don't want to say give up, but you're right. There has to be that point where
just retire.
But we know he's on Endor, so he doesn't quit here.
He comes back. He comes back after that. They retire to that planet.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
you're right.
Rebels bring him back.
Rebels brought him back.
Right. My time frame jumped around a little bit.
That's the dangers about this. Not dangerous.
I was ahead. I was in Mandoverse, Rex. I was not even there yet.
Like, seriously, it's all over the place, man. It's all over the place.
We need a freaking diagram that we add on to every week. Okay, here's the timeline. Here's where everything. Maybe I'll start making a timeline.
Just wherever the conversation is. If only it could just move around. Like all of a sudden you have a timeline on beneath us, and just a little guide goes.
That would be awesome, right?
Wherever we're.
Yeah,
I've said
I'm good at animation, but I'm not that good.
Okay. That's some AI shit right there.
Yeah, you'd have to mute me because the whole time I just sit here.
Yeah, I've always said we need a living, breathing timeline that's always added. So if a book comes in, we can pinpoint things because things are said in books that we can go like this.
We know it's just when you're talking live like this, when you're going in a flow in conversation, like what did that, and you have to take a quick second to think, where am I?
Of course.
We're talking Bad Batch. Yeah. I need Rex.
The CD in your head has to
know him in Rebels.
change.
He's going to be in, it's like, where are we at?
And we've been living this shit for 46 years or 47 years or something by this point. You'd think we'd have it all nailed down, but
that's why I said one piece of information can change the course of everything. It can change
the stuff we've known for 47 years. It can change because they just added one line somewhere. It's like,
really? I mean, even the fact that a clone can have midichlorians. I mean, that's that's huge in the canon world of everything that we've known, right? So corkboard with string. That's 100% exactly what theory crafting is in our line talk. Exactly what we do, right? So all right. Well, what's next week's episode of Bad Batch called? Is that the Harbinger one?
No, next week's episode is I got off of that page. Give me 1 second. Next episode is our filler episode. It is called Bad Territory.
Now, see, when this episode started, you know what a good key to a filler episode, and a filler episode's coming, besides the Clone Wars or when you'd see like Padme and the 3PO, right? Is when you see senators talking in the very beginning. They're about to protect a senator. So when those two people were there, when we had the old senator and everybody else from the old episodes, I'm like, oh, not again.
Yeah, I was. Look,
that's usually a dead giveaway. We're on a protection mission.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Look, on these two episodes that we got are filler episodes. I mean, they are. I know that we pulled things. Well, I know that we pulled things from it, but we're pulling things as future talk. We don't. You know what I mean? It's nothing was resolved in this whole thing other than the Wolf and Rex. To me, that's exactly and a little more step forward on the necromancer stuff. A little bit.
Yeah. The clones re-accepting Crosshair, even the ones that where he
but how big is that? Like, I mean,
that's pretty big, man.
I guess in their circle, yes, but for us, as far as like impact, it's almost like because it's predictable. I knew exactly. You didn't have to watch these episodes. There are things to pick from. I will absolutely
like if you didn't watch these episodes, there'd be something missing in 3 episodes.
Yes, because you would have talked about the path. You would have talked about so I would have been like, all right, I need to watch it, and then you get because what it could do.
And they were so good. I'm sorry, they may have been filler-esque, but they were so freaking good. So
Ernie's had a ghost walk behind him 3 times.
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was a ghost wearing a red sweater or something.
It's just weird. It's just standard around here.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I had to open up my door. It is hot in here. So hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
are
even
hot.
realize that was a door on that side.
I know
Yeah,
nobody does. I used to have the Han there, and then I put more figures up.
Yeah.
Because Han
This
fell
is-
down, and
This is what I was just kind of like alluding to. You have to get through
Yeah.
the fillers to get to the gravy. That's it.
Absolutely.
And
I
that's not
don't-
always the case. It really
Right.
isn't. Some shows
Right.
have fillers that are just like, I never have to go back to that episode.
I
Ever
Like
always-
again.
5-episode long arcs of droids on a planet with a
Well,
little alien.
I
inside their
love
head.
the void.
I hate that. God damn.
I love the void. I
episode arc.
tried to get Steven Stanton
Yeah.
on here. He has not. He read it, did not respond.
See, they got the NDAs. I've always called it marination
not
of
us.
it. If you didn't have these kind of this episodes of bonding or getting together, like Crosshair, if Crosshair just came back and all of a sudden they're on and doing stuff, I think you lose a lot of character. You lose a lot of stuff.
The talk between him and her on the you're as bad as Hunter. Oh, I'm way worse. You know, all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff playing around with her.
I'm
The
way
two
worse.
things
Yeah,
that-
and I love it.
You're
And I
missing
like the
all this
fact.
stuff. That's what you need in this show specifically. You need her reaction
Yes,
to everybody
you
else's
do
fight. It's
need it.
really
Like I
important.
said, when we say filler, it's actually marination. You're marinating this. You're
Yeah.
allowing the growth, and it does mean a lot. And
It's tricky on this one. Like I said, if this was a senator mission again, if we were nothing
Yeah.
but protecting or transporting a senator and really nothing came out of it until the very, very end, then it's
Yeah.
a filler episode to me. But this one had a
Yeah.
lot of stuff in and out.
It did.
And
It did.
it was
Yeah.
really good. It
Yeah.
didn't feel fillery. I don't know.
Nuh-uh, not at all.
I
No,
felt pretty
and-
fulfilled.
and bad territory could be this huge impact of Cat too.
yeah.
Yeah, it could be like,
Yeah.
oh my
Could
god.
be.
I'm hoping this
Could be.
season is all thriller and no filler, man, because the last two seasons have been quite a bit of shit
Oh,
in
I don't
between.
even-
Right now, we're kind of rolling, man.
Yeah.
We've had no bad episodes in this
No,
season.
This is our episode where Sid comes back and Fee has to rescue them, and they're gonna wrap up some of that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because after that, you look at the names of the episodes after that, and it's all epic names. You've got The Harbinger, Identity Crisis, Point of No Return, Juggernaut, Into the Breach, Flash Strike, The Cavalry Has Arrived.
Those are all fight
Bad- right?
titles.
Yeah.
Bad Territory says, "Hey guys, let's go grab a brew over at Sid's place and
Yeah.
see what she's up to."
Another mission gone bad.
or bad territory is they get in, they find out what's really going on, and they realize we're in some shit. Right, we're all in some
Yeah.
bad. This is a bad territory to just get out, and then you go
Yeah.
into the rest. I'm just trying,
Oh,
but
Hell,
I know.
Identity Crisis. That's where we discovered that new clone X is oh shit.
it's either
Sorry.
Cody with
That's
the
where we
problem,
discovered Cody.
right?
Yeah.
Cody with the
Yeah.
problem, or it's the clone of Crosshair and Who's Who. Right now, you have
Oh,
identity crisis because you have
oh.
two of you looking at each other,
Don't
Yeah.
and one of you,
Don't
one of you's
feed-
at 100% young, and one of you shaking with your right hand.
don't feed Joey's theory. He's wrong. Don't feed him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no man.
All right,
I'm in
guys.
for the Crosshair clone, dude, and I know Cody's a little slimmer than the other ones, right? You got to look at the clones, right? They're
Yeah.
all different shapes, different heights, different stuff, even though they're clones, right? Cody is a little slimmer, and that operative is a little slimmer, but Crosshair's taller. And I watched
Yeah.
back again, and just to be sure, and when I was watching the one from season 2, they have a scene with Cody. Well, they have a couple of scenes with Cody and Crosshair talking, but they're in front of the memorial wall.
Right.
And when they turn around, they're far apart, but you can see that he's a full
height
set
difference.
of names higher. Like you see where they end, and it's intentional. So I'm like, okay. And I
Yeah.
think that's where the operative is taller and slimmer than everybody else. That's why I'm sticking with that. I mean, it's probably Cody, to be honest. But why would there be a CX1 and a CX2
Yeah.
if you weren't just a bunch of clones?
I mean,
of
it's
Crosshair?
almost kind of on the nose with the names, right?
Why'd you activate me? That was cool.
Yeah.
that was really
Yeah.
cool. What were you doing before you were activated?
Right. It kind of makes you think he's just a regular clone that's out there doing his thing, and
Or he's just in
comes on and he has to
stasis.
put on the new armor. Oof.
Like Gideon's
Yeah,
clones
what a
were,
life.
right?
What a
Like
Yeah.
Lobot. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's Lobot. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Lobot's chilling still.
Yeah.
Lobot's, we're not even. He's not even cybernetic yet.
Yeah, exactly. All
He's
right.
coming.
All right, guys. Well, let's get out of here unless anybody else has any final thing to say,
I'm good.
to bring up or whatever. I think we've covered a lot of ground here. I mean, like I said, we take Bad Batch and we do stretch it and we do kind of go all over the place, and it could be a filler episode and we still would go all over the place with it. I mean, it's so easy to do. So, but other than that, I think we're good. We can pick this up next week and see what the Bad Batch offers, and see what other news comes in with the stuff that we've laid down today. If we're going to get more confirmations or denials, or just kind of blatant, like you said, Chris, maybe it was just they just haven't, it was nothing, we'll see, right? But I want to thank everybody, the crew here, for 250 episodes, sticking it with us. We're still friends after all this. This is great. Like we can still tolerate each other in the same room sometime. Yeah,
at least virtually.
Well, yeah, virtually. I guess. Yeah, it's like, do we have to tolerate each other? And say, no, we don't, but we do. And everybody that we've met through the podcast all these years too, it has been great. And the people that we will meet, right? And then the shows that we've been adding, like the toy show and the Beyond the Pit, which is coming in April 1st too. But the toy show is real fun. So again, check that out if you're into collecting anything Star Wars and you want to be in the now and just kind of like have fun with stuff, and see what's out there and see what the obscure collections out there and see what kind of collections people are doing, hint for next episode. But other than that, if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do so. Tell a friend. Ernie's here, so I'm going to let him do our complete outro, and then we'll get out of here, and we'll see you guys next week. So go ahead, Ernie.
Everything that Moocher said.
Yeah, just
Goodbye.
Yeah,
I know.
And Scott, go ahead.
And with that,
Toshi Station Emporium stands sponsor. This guy over here,
is
Toshi
great.
Station Emporium. This dude right here.
Did he freeze? Oh no, there he is. Right
no,
there.
I was looking
There
for
you
the things.
Yes, thank
The
you guys
only
for
thing that
tuning
can
in.
make this the bean figure stand.
Speaking
Toshi
of
Station
collectors and collections, head on over to Toshi Station Emporium. Get your figure stands, all levels of figures. We're not talking only Star Wars. We're talking He-Man, G.I. Joe, Turtles, monsters.
Indiana Jones.
He has you covered. Definitely has you covered. And then, like he said, spruce up your display from just toy photography to display shelves and everything, from space walls to much more to come, and other ventures as well. Like if you're into the Micro Galaxy Squadron, and those are great little ships. But why don't they come with freaking stands?
Yeah, and the ones that do
makes them.
Yeah, and the ones that do, like the TIE Intercept, that's not a stand. That's just for it to keep it from falling frontward. That's not it. I mean, get those things in the air. I wish I didn't have to make them. I really don't. I mean, because first off, they're hard to make, but they should come with stands, Micro Galaxy. God, but they're great ships. But anyway, I digress.
But they're cool. Yeah. So head on over to Toshi Station Emporium right now and use the code. I don't know what code. Do we have a code?
Sarlacc Digest podcast for 10% off your entire purchase.
Yes.
Done.
And free love inside every package.
Yeah, there is. Well, yes.
And a little beard hair.
Sometimes.
If you're lucky.
Yeah. I am very careful with
lucky.
that. But all honestly, I am very careful not to have that in the packaging.
Beard.
Beard.
I am very.
I thought you were saying that. He packs his bags naked. So, I mean, it's going out. Beard hair.
Maybe it's beard. Maybe it's something else.
Like
Where's
with Ernie.
those fast food nets?
Yeah. That's
Like
all he
with Ernie,
has.
I do run hot, so I don't wear a lot of clothes when I'm packaging these up. So.
Right.
You can clone your very own Marco.
Yeah, I possess the DNA.
I don't know if his M count is good, but you could.
Yeah, my M count is very low. I don't think you're cloning anything good.
You want some M replacement therapy?
Right.
Very lazy and a lot of pizza consumption. That's the clone you'll get. You know what I mean?
Order now to find out.
Greasy fingers.
Oh my, that went crazy. Off the
On every
It
other
sure
stand.
did.
You can tell when he dipped. So yeah, order now at Toshi Station Emporium and get your figure stands and much, much more for all of your collection needs. Yes, go check out the brand new episode, the Sarlacc Toy Box, that was done on every other Monday. So not next Monday. What is it?
Ghost.
Toy chest.
It's Ghost.
Is it right? It's like digest.
Yeah,
Digest,
toy
toy
chest.
chests.
Yeah.
It's a brand new toy show every other Monday. Go check it out.
Yes.
God damn it.
There you go. Become part of the replay crew. Yes, congratulations to us for 250 episodes. So if you're new here, you do have some catching up to do. because there's just much more than 250 as well. We have some great content on there, from reviews, special shows, hot topic, and everything in between. So go check it out. We have you covered. If that's not enough for you, go to all social media, because we are there as well too, TikTok. But join our Facebook with Star Wars Talk 24/7 in our Sarlacc Digest community page, and there's hilarity there every day with a brand new meme or info
there is
on what there is. So yeah, go check it out, and we will see you guys next week. And now is the perfect time to catch up on Bad Batch. You're only 7 episodes behind. Is it all filler? Who knows?
It's only 140
make the
minutes,
call.
like a couple hours.
Yeah. Yeah. It's your standard show on Netflix right now. We're only halfway through. Go for it.
Yeah.
Do it.
All right, cool, guys. Well, thank you again, guys, for 250 more. Let's do this again. With that, Scott,
Keep it nerdy, everybody.
If you want to.
Yay.
if you want to, it's optional.
If you must.
Nerdiness optional.
We don't require
Yeah.
anything.
It's a must.
Do it.
This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.